have no idea how to start this one off. I didn't lose my base, I didn't die. I just found a place that was completely abandoned and empty and decided to stay. I know, this probably sounds like a terrible idea to some of you, but please allow me to explain. So this journey begins like every other one. I got nothing but my clothes on my back, well almost nothing, because for starters this place isn't half bad. But no matter how comfortable I was before the apocalypse, things are different now, and comfort doesn't mean safety. And if I'm going to survive out here, I need a place that actually keeps me alive. As I was exploring the neighborhood, I came across this building by accident. The barricades caught my eye and I figured, hey, you know what, this could spare me some trouble. But that's where I was dead wrong. You see, I picked up some furniture from nearby houses and while I was at it, I took food, tools, anything of use really. Like every other character, my guy comes with his own strengths and weaknesses. And let's just say I got the brains and the bronze. But when it comes to pretty much everything else, yeah, I'm useless. I clean up the place a bit, nothing fancy, but enough to make it livable. Oh, and did I mention, even though the city still had power, this block didn't. No electricity, no running water, but that's a problem for another day. We're gonna call it a night here. The next day I went to check out Courtman Medical. That place is clean, secure, water and light, everything my safe house isn't. I won't lie, I wish I could stay, but that kind of comfort isn't meant for me, not on this life. So I took what I needed and got out. The next stop was a convenience store. Yeah, my kinda luck. I barely stepped inside and everything went loud. I ran out as fast as I could, and judging by the noise, I wasn't the only one who heard it. Few hours later, I went to see how bad the situation was. And let's just say it was bad. But then again, everything's always bad around here. So I came back the next morning and cleaned the place out. And at the time, plan was simple. Stack up on food and bare essentials, and by the end of the first week, I had more food than I knew what to do with. Enough to last me for a while. The only problem was the storage. I had to use the freezer next door just to keep everything fresh. At least until I figure out how to fix the power situation here. You see, I wanted to be better. So most nights, I spent what little free time I had reading books before bed. It helped, but only to a point, because no matter how many houses I searched nearby, I couldn't find an axe or a generator magazine. And local houses weren't going to cut it anymore. I had to step things up. I need to start looking somewhere a lot more dangerous. All that hard work, all that killing, in the end, it was all for nothing. Well, not exactly nothing. I still didn't find what I needed. But I did find Heisenberg chilling in his lab, wearing a cool green shirt. I could be wrong. Anyways, desperate minds make desperate choices. I didn't have a car to move around the city, which meant I couldn't keep running back to base every time an alarm went off. So I made a call. I decided to hide out in a nearby trailer and wait it out. But that's when things escalated. Luckily, I managed to slip out of this one unharmed. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it's been raining a lot recently. So I made some rain collectors, and they were already working, but my mind was somewhere else. As time went on, the power problem became more and more serious. So I headed over to the elementary school, hoping I'd finally find the magazine I needed. I searched every classroom, every hallway, and yeah, still no luck. I even spotted more stores right across the road from the school, but taking those goods on right now, that wouldn't be smart. So I marked it on the map for future. At this point, it was clear I was running out of options. The power wasn't coming back on its own, and food only stays fresh for so long. I stopped putting my faith into finding the magazine. Instead, I decided to work on my electrical skill, learn enough to run a generator on my own. But I wasn't fully focused. Maybe what I needed wasn't another supply run. Maybe I just needed a reset. I don't know if going to church is still a thing around here, but it felt like a right place to gather my thoughts and plan what comes next. Before everything went to shit, I took fitness pretty seriously, and that hasn't changed. Even now I still do my best to keep my body in shape. And now that I finally know how to hotwire cars, I figured it was time to take a ride. Everything was going fine until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, I felt like I was about to throw up. Motion sickness. This was way more serious than it looked. If I kept driving, I was going to die. So I left the car right there and walked my way back home. That wasn't easy though. What a mess. Being sick kinda opened my eyes to how dirty this place really was. So yeah, it was time for a little cleaning. After that, I headed straight to the gas station to stock up on fuel, before the power shuts down completely. I got lucky and found a map to Moldra. But honestly, I didn't really need it. This used to be my hometown. I already know where everything was. On my way back, I spotted another car in a decent shape, and figured, let's give it another try. After a bit of beatdown, I got it running, filled it up, and drove it straight home. A small progress, but I still needed an axe if I wanted to properly fortify this place. Finding that map helped me pin down a nearby warehouse, so I went to check it out. It wasn't very crowded, which was a plus. But I couldn't find a key or any way to get inside, so yeah, that plan would have to wait. I headed back home to organize some loot. I was already pretty tired when I noticed something. I had a fire axe just laying there the whole time, and I didn't even realize it. I started gathering logs and clearing out trees behind my base. It felt like the safest place to start. After a few hours of hard work, I finally managed to build a staircase leading up to the roof. For a moment I thought I was making real progress, but that feeling didn't last long. This was really a sloppy mistake, one that could cost me more than just time. With a broken leg, it could easily cost me my life. I had plenty of spare wood lying around, so I quickly put together a splint, at least long enough to figure out what my next move is. After making sure that mistake never happens again, I figured that while I was at it, I might as well improve the place. So I added a few more rain collectors, hoping I finally can pump fresh water inside. A small luxury, but one I didn't have before. After the accident, I slowed things down a bit. I spent what time I could working on the outer wall, taking it one step at a time. I was well fed, well rested, but the weather had other plans. Thick fog rolled in, and with my leg still healing, going out on risky runs just wasn't worth it. After a while, my fire axe finally gave out, broken beyond repair. which meant only one thing: the wall would have to wait, at least for now. After spending too much time stuck at home, I decided to take a chance and head toward the quieter end of Main Street. The goal was simple: grab some useful VHS tapes and get out. That plan almost got me killed. Zombies started to pile up at the front door, and I got what I wanted, so I slipped through the back door and left the area. A few blocks down, I spotted another bookstore, and I figured I'd push my luck one more time. Still no magazine, but I did find the next best thing. After a bit of dismantling and salvaging, everything finally clicked into place. For the first time in God knows how long, this place finally had some light. And without wasting any time, at first light next morning, I went to grab out a few freezers and start moving my food back home. It felt good not having to rely on someone else's power anymore. And while I was at it, I figured it was finally time to hit the stores I'd left behind. I ended up with so many crates and so many beers, I figured I'd give you guys a tutorial on how to store them. First, you're gonna need a water dispenser. Empty the jug, then grab as many beers as you can and start pouring them into the big jug. Once that's done, put the bottle back where it belongs, and that's it. Cold beer straight from the barrel. By this point, I already looted most of the city, but the zombies never really stopped coming. They just keep drifting in from other regions. After a long, slow walk, I came across a small chapel. I rested there for a while, took some painkillers and kept moving. Eventually I found an interesting house, cleared it out, and since I was far from home, I decided to spend the night there. Before leaving the house, I took a small souvenir with me. On my way back, I noticed a car parked nearby. Probably his car. I searched through his stuff and found an actual bomb inside. Yeah, a strange man indeed. I didn't ask questions. I took the car and drove straight home. Turns out, all that resting and playing it safe was starting to catch up with me. I was gaining weight and honestly, I needed a real workout. Lucky for me, there was still a few places left I'd been meaning to revisit. So I took the car out and decided to give these poor suckers a real beatdown. I mean, after 1,000 kills or so, I was getting pretty comfortable with a baseball bat. Inside the building, there was a small back room, the kind I usually ignore and move on from. But this time, I didn't. And that decision was almost the end of me. I guess I'm getting pretty good at escaping death, but I don't wanna rely on luck too many times. From that point, I hit just about every warehouse in town and finally managed to find some axes, so I could resume the base building process. I put down a gate, dismantled all the front fences, and I had some vehicles that I was planning to put to good use. One of my old neighbors used to keep chickens in his backyard. I went to grab them as well, since he wouldn't be needing them anymore. Also, my leg was almost fully healed and I could run again. With the power situation taken care of, both at my home and at the gas station, a fully stocked freezer full of eggs, and all sort of food and drinks, it's safe to say I can live here for quite a while. Nothing dramatic happened after that. No close calls, no panic, and for the first time in a long while, that felt good. But I know this game well enough by now. Peace never lasts forever. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I love you all. Peace out.